Hey, I'm Will, and welcome to Backyard Outdoors. And today what we're going to do is we've had a great day down here at the Mississippi River with our friends Danny and Lisa England, and we've had a terrific time going through the swamps and through high water parts and stuff like that on the boat. But now we're here in camp, and we're ready to do some stuff. And we're cooking some ribs on the grill, and we're getting ready to make ourselves a nice cobbler for some dessert. And what we're going to make is the plain old standard Boy Scout peach cobbler. Now what you're going to need is you're going to need a standard deluxe cake mix, or whatever's cheapest. It doesn't make any difference as long as it's white. I grabbed a lemon earlier and I forgot about it, and I didn't look at the label, and my wife reminded me of it, and we had to go get a white cobbler, or a white cake mix. You're going to need three eggs. You're going to need a pretty good can of peaches with the syrup. Alright, you're going to need a little bit of vegetable oil, or I suppose you could use olive oil if you wanted to, but you don't have to. You're going to need a little bit of water. So what we're going to do is you're going to get your Dutch oven. I got a fairly good sized one here, and we're going to oil the inside of it down, which I've already done it first off, okay, so that way it doesn't burn. It's more like Teflon, alright? Then you're going to take your cake mix, and you're just going to dump it in there. You're not going to get real fancy with this, you know. You're just going to dump it in, and you got a fire going over here at the fire pit, and after you get it all in, you can throw that in the fire. Oh, well, I missed it, but that's alright. And then you're going to spread that out there in a little bit, and you're going to dump your water in. About 1 3/4 or 1 1/4, somewhere in there, just enough that you know what you need to do. Then you're going to get a little oil, and you're going to put that in there a little bit too, and that's not too much, but not too bad. It'll be alright. My wife's giving me this really weird look, but that's okay. You know? And then you're going to crack your eggs, and you're going to put your eggs in there. You're going to toss them in the fire pit too, because you know what? They don't really hurt anything. We got a lot of sand down here, and the girls were getting on me about having sand in the cobbler, but I kept trying to tell them that the shells don't go in the cobbler. It just goes, the inside part just goes in there. Oh, there, now we're talking. You know what? I'm going to shake that crap all off. And now, you get yourself a good wood spoon, or if you got a whisk, that's great, but most of us out here on the trail don't have a whisk, and you start mixing it in. Oh yeah, get that going good. And what you do is you want to get a good cake batter going, alright? And it doesn't really make any difference, and if you have to, you can add a little more oil. I really wouldn't add any more water because you don't want it too runny, and oil won't make it runny as much as the water will. The water will make it pretty runny. Let's get that out of the way. And you just keep stirring it, and you try to get as many of the lumps out of there as you can, because if you've got the lumps in there, it doesn't tend to cook that even. And what it'll do is you'll have little clumps of doughy stuff, you know. And you know what? Maybe it's just me, but that's icky. But anyway, you just keep on going, you just stir it really good, you get it in there, and you just give it a good stir. I usually got one of my minions doing this part, but not today because we're shooting a video. And you get that stuff all off the side. And like I said, you oil the inside of the Dutch really well. And I got a number 12 here, and it's doing okay. We're getting all that. Now I'll tell you what, we had a good day today. We were out on the river pretty much the whole day, and we got some ribs cooking on the grill. And you know what? We decided to top this all off with a really nice cobbler, and an old style Boy Scout cobbler to boot. You know, and this is really good. I've been threatening to make this down here for our friends a few times, and it just never seemed to pan out, because to be frankly honest with you, we got a little too far into our cup. And when you get into your cup, it's tough to make a cobbler, because you tend to want to add beer to it, and it just doesn't make a good cobbler. And the thing is, you just keep on stirring it and get all the clumps out of it. And I'll tell you what, we're in pretty good shape here. You see that? Can you see that, Mr. Cameraman? I hope so, because it's really looking nice and yum, 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 yum. And you just keep stirring it, and you get as many of them lumps out of there as you can. And you shake that spoon up, and I like a good wood spoon, but you could use a whisk or whatever you want to do. And we got this little table here that my friend Lisa brought for me because she didn't want to see me making it on the ground because she was worried about the sand. Well, you know what? A little sand never hurt anybody. But you know what? It was awful nice of her to do it all the same. So we knock all that crap off the spoon. You know, nothing like a good spoon lick. Alright? Then you take your peaches. And a good can. Sliced peaches with heavy syrup. That's always good. That's great. You can buy these at any big box store, grocery store, or whatever. And you don't mix them in. What you do is you pour it right on top. You try to get them fairly even across there. Like this, okay? And you pour the syrup in and everything. Alright? Then, you following me, Mr. Cameraman? Follow me up here. Alright? You make sure there ain't no... My God! We have sand on our lid! But anyway, you put your lid on it. Like that. Now, you come over to your fire pit. And you get some good coals. Now, this is a pretty big fire pit. And it makes it tough to do what we need to do. So what you're going to do is you're going to make a little bit of an indentation out here outside the pit. Alright, with your shovel. And then, you get down in here, you're going to get some good coals like that. You're going to put it down in that pit. And I'll tell you what, this is pretty hot. I've been on this ever since we got off the river. And it's trying to burn the hair off my arm. Alright? You got them on there on the ground like that. You take your Dutch, and set them on them like that. Then, you switch arms, that way you burn your hair off the arms evenly. And burn the hair off the arms evenly, that's a joke, you know. And you try not to burn your hair off the arms at all. My friend Danny, he tried to... Ow! That hurt! I stepped on a coal. But anyway, you put them on top of the Dutch. Damn, that hurt. But anyway...
And this is Danny that doesn't want to get burnt.
Alright. Now, you let that cook. And after a little bit, we're going to check it.
Oh my God.
Alright? So we'll be right back as she gets going a little bit better. Alright? So we'll be right back, and this is Backyard Outdoors. Hey, I'm Will, and this is Backyard Outdoors, and we're here for part 2. Now, earlier we had the whole thing with the cobbler and how we made it and everything else. Well, we've had it on the coals for a while, and you know what? It's done. And we're ready to go, and it's right here in our old Dutchy oven here. And what you're going to need is a couple pieces of wood to set your lid on, because you don't want to set your lid in the sand. And you certainly don't want to step on the coals like I did earlier. So what you do is you take your hook, you bring it off, and come on up here and take a look at this, because it's really, really good. Can you see this all right, Mr. Cameraman?
Camera woman, by the way.
Whatever. And you just take a little bit up there like there, and it's nice and soft and delicious. Hey, you know, that's pretty good. Hey, you guys can do this yourself, and it's really good, really simple, really easy. And I'm Will, and this is our peach cobbler on the fire, and this is Backyard Outdoors.